Guam, Guam, a noop, noop, a noop, noop, noop. So I just fucking realized that I fucked up, and there was actually more stuff that I wanted to cover in the last video about the Colombia protesters. Fuck. Alright, well, I'll have to, we're gonna tomorrow, or today, later. Uh, but for now, let's just talk about something else. Let's fucking do, I guess this one.
President Donald Trump is following up on his January declaration of an
Good.
invasion at the southwest border by putting military bases at the border on a 60-foot wide strip of land.
So when it comes to the U.S.
Fuck yeah.
southern border, opinions have always been divided. Do you build a wall? How high do you make it? But now things are shifting in a major way, and plans are in place to turn most of the border into an active military base, which means anyone crossing it will be arrested for trespassing on a U.S. military installation. But
Good.
this is happening so quickly that the gangs and criminals exploiting our southern border haven't yet gotten the memo.
I will declare a national emergency.
Look
at
at all
our
these
southern
fucking
border.
idiots.
President Trump is authorizing the U.S. military.
You expect me to feel bad for all these fucking idiots? I guarantee you a 100%, 100% can guarantee that every single one of those people in that fucking thing has a smartphone. So if you expect me to believe, then none of these people had the, you know, the sense of mind to just Google, hey, is it worth it? How is the immigration situation at the border? How, like, you know, are immigrants, you know, getting jobs? Are they being accepted? Are they actually having luck finding jobs? You know, if you actually look this shit up, it would have saved you so much time, dude. It would have saved you so much time, effort, you know, money, safety. Like, you don't have to risk your life like this. But no, you guys are just fucking lazy and just, you know, hope for the best. So I don't feel bad for you, dude. It's 2025. There's absolutely no excuses now. Oh, we're escaping gangs and all that. No, you're not escaping nothing. How the fuck do you think they got over here? By the gangs. The gangs smuggled them over here. So you're not escaping nothing. You're just you are literally bringing the gangs over here with you. Because now they're just going to follow you here. And when you don't pay them back for, you know, helping you get across the border, they're going to come over here and try to fucking get you. Which is, you know, going to incite violence in our neighborhood. So you're literally just bringing the gangs here. So it's like you're literally not doing nothing.
Take control of what you see right next to me, a 700-mile stretch of federal land along the southern
2025, dude,
border,
there's no excuse.
and turn it into an army base.
Good.
These are major
Good.
development when it comes to border security and
Look at these
disrupting
fucking idiots.
Mexican criminal networks operating right on the southern
Do
border.
not feel
Border
bad for
Patrol
them, dude.
agents in Tucson, Arizona, sharing real-time intelligence with their Mexican counterparts that led to Mexican forces then disrupting a major cartel lookout site. Mexican forces arresting 4 suspects and seizing a stockpile.
Migrants who cross in this area would likely be put into holding for trespassing onto a military property
Good.
until the Department of Homeland Security could arrive to pick them up and deport them.
Trump's
Good.
expansion of troops
Get
border
them
wall
out.
comes as crossings have plunged in recent months. Just 7,200 migrant encounters were reported in March. That's down from more than 189,000.
So people are trying to cancel the border base, saying it threatens our rights. But what none of the people
Right,
who hate this
yeah, I'm
idea
sure it
will
does.
admit is that open borders
Right,
threaten
right,
not
right.
just our rights, but also our safety.
Yo, are they hiring?
Right on.
Daily.
At your job?
Huh?
Are they hiring at your job, dude?
I mean, they're always hiring at Northwell. It's a massive organization.
But like for your position, you know, where you get to work, like, what are you doing again?
I honestly don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm basically doing billing.
Oh yeah, so I'm used to that shit, dude. I have like fucking like 2 or 3 years of experience in that, especially like debt collecting. But are there any like requirements? Like, do I need like a bachelor's or some shit? Or like, do I have to like pass a drug test or some shit?
That you might. I had to take I had to do like a screening, like a health screening, but they didn't specifically mention whether
Oh,
or
a
not
drug test
they-
is not the same thing as a health screening, though.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't know if they specifically mentioned.
Like at any
Like,
point
I-
when
I
you were
don't think
signing
they
up, did they ever?
discriminate
At any point
Against
when you
weed.
were high, when you were getting high, did they say that you cannot be smoking weed or that they were gonna be drug testing you for anything?
No.
Okay,
No.
then should be good. Yeah, dude. Is there any way that you could like send me a link or some shit? I'm done with this job, dude. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah, I could try to find like where I applied and everything.
Like today was like the final straw for me, dude. This man Avi fucking quit today.
What was that?
The kid was in our Discord, my coworker.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys worked together.
No, he was my coworker. He fucking quit today. And honestly, I don't blame him, dude. Terry's a fucking asshole, bro. Like if he fucking
Who's that? The manager?
he's basically like my manager's bosses, if that makes any sense. Like he's the one who basically programmed the systems at my job. Like he made like all the commands and everything. Like the system, like how everything operates. Like he's basically that guy. But he's an asshole, dude. He's already had a problem with the owner, so he's not allowed in the back part of the building, which is client services, where all the females are, because he was like on some dickhead shit. Like one time he like walked in the back. He was like, "Oh, why do you guys keep using the bathroom? You guys keep." He basically told the girls that they can't use the bathroom, that they're taking too long in the bathroom. Like what the fuck, dude? This ain't high school, bruh. Like this ain't class, dude. If I have to shit or I'm dying in the bathroom, like I don't know, dude. You can't be bitching to stop calling out every 5 days because you feel sick, and then also when we're here and trying to work and make our our sickness when you're just trying to work through your sickness and you're also not allowing me to do that. Like it's like, bro, I'm not a fucking robot, bro. Do you want me to shit all over your fucking you want me to shit all over your seat? Is that what you fucking want? But yeah, long story short, Avi he literally made a mistake, dude. Like he made a simple mistake, and instead of just telling him, hey dude, just watch out, don't fucking do that again, because we could get sued or whatever, he straight up was like, oh dude, like what the fuck, dude, I could fire you for this almost makes me not want to pay you this week. Like what, bro? You fucking said that shit to me, I would be like, yeah dude, this makes me want to quit right now and just sue you. Like what? You're not gonna fucking talk to me like that and then threaten to like not pay me. Like are you an idiot? Do you think I'm an immigrant or some shit that I don't know my rights?
It's moments like that I feel like, I mean, I never do it, so
oh no, I do it. That's why I fucking get
let me finish. I was saying about like a speaker or like those glasses that like you can tap a button and it'll start recording.
Yeah,
it's just like moments like that. I wish I had something that could like prove somebody said some bullshit, and then it never comes down to my word against theirs. It'd be like, yeah, well,
oh no,
yeah.
So I told Abby, I would have been like, dude, I would have just taken out my phone and I would have just hit the record. I would start hitting the record button and I'd be like, hey Terry, could you just repeat what you said again? You want to repeat?
Yeah, but at that point, then they wisen up. Then they stop fucking saying some bullshit.
Yeah, but then that's why I'll have proof. I'd be like, you want to repeat what you said about how you didn't want to pay me because I made a simple mistake here at the job? And then, literally based on just their demeanor and their response, you could already tell that what I was saying is true in most cases. Like, how do you think I won the insurance shit, dude? My insurance case. Like, you could easily tell by a person's demeanor whether or not they were lying or not, even on video.
Basis. Because it's one thing to have criminal...
Like, but yeah, that fucking made me, like, fucking realize I can't stay here much longer, dude. Like, it's already about to be a year since I've been working here. I think I've, accumulated. The only reason I stayed here this long is because I wanted, when I applied to another job, because, like, my last couple of jobs that I've been, interviewed at, they're like, oh, why do you keep going from job to job and shit? Why do you never, And it's because, I keep finding something better, so I didn't want to, That also looks bad on your resume, having so many jobs and you never stay there for that long. It looks like you're not, like, dependable and you just leave or some shit. That's the only reason why I stayed here, so to basically gain like the experience and shit and fucking, so other employers won't think that I'll just leave. They'll actually stay here and that I'm a worker or whatever. Other than that, I would have been left this fucking shithole, dude. Like they're mad, like biased and low-key sexist over there. Like they let the girls wear whatever they want, but then at the same time they want to have a whole meeting, fucking telling everybody about dress code. Like, I'll literally be wearing, like, dress pants, and, like, I'll take my sweater off for 2 seconds, and I'll be wearing a t-shirt under because it's hot, and I'll get, like, yelled at, dude, what are you, going to a park? But then, like this other bitch will show up in, like, fucking flip-flops and leggings and a t-shirt, and she's valid. Like, what the fuck? Like, fuck that shit, dude.
criminals and gangs traversing your country freely, using the border to make billions, smuggling people across it. But it becomes quite another when those crooks
about
find
that, right,
co-conspirators inside America that help them obtain things illegally, like weapons. Which reveals that if we don't have a border, our rights are jeopardized by the public safety nightmare created by the free flow of whoever, whenever, wherever. It's a bad situation. And proponents say the
And
president...
that's also another reason, the only other reason that I fucking stayed at this place, because they know that they're assholes, so that's why they let you get away with a lot of shit there, dude. Cause like I'll like be showing up fucking smelling like weed sometimes. I'll like be showing up late, dude. Fucking just like call out. Like I haven't fucking really. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna get jinxed right now.
President is right. We are facing an
you haven't done a
unprecedented
full week?
emergency at the southern border.
Not gonna
and
say
if
it,
something's
dude.
not
Not
done, the
gonna
country
answer
could
that.
fall into the hands of criminals who've been making $13 billion per year on America's open front door. Something the
But
presence of
I mean, I doubt they'll do anything about me, because fucking like there are certain people that haven't even been there in like a week, dude. Like Karen, dude, she hasn't even been to work in like a week. Like the last time she saw Avi was probably like fucking a week or two ago. And now when she comes back, he's not even gonna be there. Like Avi left. Yeah, dude, like motherfuckers just be calling out there.
military.
Like yesterday at the meeting or whatever, or earlier this week when they had a stupid meeting when they were bitching at us, they're like, "Oh yeah, guys, we have to like make up manpower, blah blah blah." Like last month we had 30 days of like missed man. Like all you guys together had a sum total of like 30 days, basically a whole month of like call outs for like basically with one employee. We basically missed like one employee for a whole month. Like, dude, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, you guys are acting like you guys pay well and treat your employees well for you to be bitching. Like, come on.
Base will shut completely
It's kinda one of those,
immediately,
like-
yet is being derided by
I
progressives.
mean, I don't
as
know
a
too much
terrible
about it,
idea,
but from
which
what
is how
you
you
told me,
know
it
it's-
sounds like one of those scummy businesses.
It is a
anyway.
sc-
Like debt collection, right?
It is a scummy business. Like, I will give them that. Like, they try really hard not to fire you unless, like, you actually fuck up. Well, honestly, I don't know, dude. I really don't know, because, like I said, they're kind of biased over there. Like, sometimes, some days they hate me and some days they don't. Because low-key, they have been certain points where they low-key could have fired me and should have fired me. Like when I fucking took the payment from that lady and I didn't realize that it was not her bank account. And fucking I accepted the payment and fucking they got like flagged for some shit and they were like bugging out on me. And then a month, like two or 3 months ago, when fucking we had like these two new, before all the people that work there now, all the new hires showed up. We had like this time period where there was just like, only 2 new hires that showed up and none of them made it, dude. Like the first girl, she was kind of hot, but she realized that the job was bullshit. So like she didn't come back after the training and we all knew that that was the case. And then the other girl, she like looked like a nerd and she low-key looked like a pussy and couldn't handle anything. And I was kind of right. She kept like bugging out and shit. But she didn't even do like a week. She didn't even last a week, dude. Like as soon as fucking as soon as she took like her first, like on the first day, like her first actual day of working, like after being done with training, she accidentally fucking took a call in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of those states where you're not allowed to speak with the spouse because you could get sued if you do. And she spoke to the spouse, not realizing that it was a Massachusetts account, and they fired her like immediately. But again, that being said, you literally just got out of training, bro. Like, you literally just left training. Like, this should be fresh in your mind, dude. I don't know how you fucking... Like, that's the number one thing that I be looking at, dude. Like, when I get an account, I always look at the state first and make sure it's not Massachusetts, because if it's a Massachusetts account, you have to basically sweat lord that account. You have to be nice as fuck. You gotta be polite, because those are the accounts that basically get looked at. Like actually get reviewed, because if anything is wrong with that and you don't comply with the laws for that state, we could get sued, and you personally can get sued as well. Oh yeah.
It's probably gonna
It's-
work.
it's- it's
and
like-
that brings us to the real
it's like
reason
scummy,
we
but it's
need
not,
a base
if that
at the
makes any
border. You've
sense.
got heavily armed criminals entering our country. That's dangerous. Of course, we need a military
I only
base.
say it's not scummy because, like I said, they're not like the other debt collection places where like oh, you're not making them enough money. Bye bye. You know, like so, like my other debt collection, the first debt collection job I had, Sunrise. Sunrise was actually like that. Like if you know, if you weren't making them fucking like you know, $5,000 at least every single day, and you know you weren't at the top of the leaderboards and shit, they would just fire you. Like at least over here, you know, like some days I don't even get paid. I don't get any payments and shit. You know, like most of the time I'm usually at the lowest, but then again I am part time. But like I said, for the most part I am at the lowest or whatever. And yeah.
Down there, we should have done this decades ago. But since we haven't, you've got criminals cutting holes in the border.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look
driving
into it.
vehicles
I'm
through
still,
checkpoints. And in the past, they've simply
I'm still
overwhelmed
technically,
meager
like, I
border
haven't
resources.
started
Oh, you don't have
with
to,
my training.
Yeah, you don't have to
just
put in a
like
recommendation.
this.
Just to let me know where to apply. I won't even say that I know you. I just gotta get the fuck out of here, bro.
That was the border 1 year ago, but had a base.
Do they pay you weekly there?
I honestly don't even know yet.
Oh no.
I would imagine it's probably bi-weekly.
Nah, cause when I worked at Sunrise, I got paid weekly. This is my first ever bi-weekly job, dude. I mean, I've had one other bi-weekly job, which was at AutoZone, which I don't know how the fuck that they were able to slide with doing bi-weekly, because that was actual manual labor, like working at a store. So I don't know how they were even legally allowed to do that, but yeah. That's also why I left that one. I can't do this shit anymore, dude. This bi-weekly shit, and you know, and on top of that, I'm basically only getting paid like $400 or $500 a week. I can't do this anymore, dude.
Been set up in that very location, that rush, which included members of Venezuela's dangerous Tren de Aragua gang, would never have happened. However, the president doesn't want to take the chance that an event like this ever occurs again, not just by building a base, but as you're about to see, teaming up with Mexico to shut down these criminals before they even.
That's what they should have done from the start, but you know, that's what happens when you fucking... You know, people don't want to say it, but I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm not woke here. This is what happens when you fucking goddamn elect a female as a president, dude. They allow their fucking stupid-ass feelings to get in the way instead of doing what she should have done to protect her citizens to begin with. Like, why don't you fucking fix your country, stop all these gangs, you know, imprison them just like how El Salvador did, and have a good relationship with your neighbor, the United States, and watch how much your citizens will like you and how much people will actually start respecting you. Like, don't be a fucking Kamala Harris and just sit idly by, bro. Like, come on, man.
Enter our country.
Now to the
Fucking
southern border.
that bitch is a communist, too. Like, she's actually a communist. Like, I'm pretty sure her parents or some shit, or somebody that she's tied to or related to. I forgot what the video lore was. I forgot what the video mentioned from Business Basics. But, yeah, she's, like, fucking tied to communism.
U.S. and Mexican authorities are teaming up to crush.
That's why she's so, like, hesitant to fucking work with Trump. Oh, yeah, but my bad guys on that fucking, like, rant, damn it.
The scout sites used by Mexican cartels, the rare coordination on border operations between the neighboring countries, an effort to rip out the eyes and ears of the cartels smuggling routes into the U.S. News Nation border correspondent Jorge Ventura live in San Antonio.
Okay, so it's one thing to build a massive, fearsome border base, but it's quite another to actively go into Mexico and stop these criminals in their little hideouts that they use to circumvent all of our border security in the first place. And before we get into what the president's base is going to be able to accomplish, look at these little houses lining various rivers just across the water from southern Texas.
Oh my god, Chad, I just realized I never posted GGS number 13. 23. Oh, wait, I did. Okay. Holy shit, chat. Alright, we're picking up movement, dude. Already, out of all the videos that I've posted recently, 3 of them already have fucking, like, triple-digit numbers. Fuck yeah.
What do you post on YouTube?
Yeah, dude. I've been more active on YouTube recently, dude. I fucking, ever since I've been back, I've already posted like 20 or 30 videos, dude, and they're all like an hour long. Like my first one that really took off was the World of Warcraft. It was WoW retail done. People did not like that video, dude. I have 3 dislikes and 1 like. I have 1 negative comment about some fucking kid talking about alcoholism or some shit when I don't even know what the fuck he's even talking about. And then Hassan, my iDubbbz versus Ethan video that got 328 views. That has like half and half likes. And then the one that I posted on the 7th is at 114 likes, which is the India starts World War III. And then taking off. Sorry, chat. I'm rambling again.
From these smugglers spy on our border, spy on our troops, and then make their move at the prime opportunity. But they don't just sneak into the country from these locations. They use these vantage points to direct smuggling traffic, launch drones, do all kinds of stuff. Plus, these gang members are well armed. They've got weapons, and for a long time, they haven't been afraid of border patrol
at this
at
point, they're like a
all,
mini
because as
militia.
you're about to see, there was absolutely nothing American troops could do to touch them on Mexican soil.
These are a major development when it comes to border security and disrupting Mexican criminal networks.
It's ridiculous.
Right on the southern border, Border Patrol agents in Tucson, Arizona, sharing real-time intelligence with their Mexican counterparts. That led to Mexican forces then disrupting a major cartel lookout site.
It's like an army
on the border. Now take a look at this. Mexican forces arresting 4 suspects and seizing a stockpile, 10 loaded magazines, 300 rounds of ammunition.
Now, why do these guys need all this ammunition and all these weapons?
Yeah, why
and
do
these
they need that, chat?
camouflage suits? Do they need to dress like that to sneak into America and make it a better place, as we're told by activists anyone coming into the country illegally wants to do? Furthermore, what do they need these radio communication devices for? The one in this report seems like it has a solar-powered antenna array. Plus, these guys got caught with military-style weaponry. It doesn't look to me like they were going to use any of this stuff to make America or Mexico better.
Yeah, they're coming over. They're so coming over here to protect us, right? Yeah. Look at all these illegals, chat, coming over here to fucking protect us, right? They're smuggling weapons and people because they totally want to protect us. They just love America so much that they're willing to come down here, risk their lives, and protect us with their weapons. They love the American population so much that they just, they want to protect us. They want to stand guard, so in that way our military and shit won't have to, giving us a little break. They're gonna start bringing over teas and crumpets for us as well.
Makes it pretty obvious why we
Bunch of
probably
fucking idiots, dude. Like I can't, but like, oh my god, dude. It's just like, how is common sense? This, like.
put a base down here by the border,
and that's exactly why the
It's like you either get down or you lie down. What's it gonna be, sunshine?
U.S. is also ramping up their own defenses. Just yesterday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited a newly created national defense area in New Mexico. It's a 100,000-acre stretch under military control, warning that any illegal crossers there will be arrested and detained.
Yeah, Glev, everything that I'm reacted to is gonna be on YouTube. Just if you wanna watch along and add your 2 cents, I'm streaming it on the Discord.
U.S. troops, meaning that troops and Border Patrol now are working together under new expanded powers.
We've got drones. We're prepared to detain either.
Fuck yeah. Can you imagine being a fucking, an immigrant? You think you're just gonna cross the border and then all of a sudden you fucking hear, enemy AC-130 overhead! You're fucking getting drone strike!
But they weren't counting on a national defense area. They weren't counting on a.
Nah, I should have laughed. That's fucked up. That's mean.
So this is a huge development. We're talking 100,000 acres now under U.S. military control, and that totally changes the landscape literally, because now anybody who enters
hey,
this
did you
area
fuck around and you find out?
Active U.S. military installation. And although people are very upset about the presence of this new border base,
dude, the only people who are upset here are fucking communists and the illegals who are doing this shit and the smugglers. And privileged white liberals who live in gated communities and that don't have I should redact that. That was disingenuous for me to say white liberals, because for the most part the only thing that I've seen is fucking bitches complain about this shit. So basically, like, if you're a fucking a bitch that lives in a gated community where none of this affects you and you never have to see any of this ever. Those are the only people who fucking, are mad about this shit. People who have the luxury to just go home, you don't have to worry about your car getting broken into or getting robbed. Your local bodega shutting down because, it's been fucking robbed 50 times by, the same group of people over and over again. I guarantee none of you guys have been to Flushing. Or there's just actual prostitutes roaming the streets, broad daylight, no cops around. There's literally brothels right in front of fucking elementary schools, in front of actual children. There's just like homeless and people just eating on the streets, just laying on the streets like it's a fucking third world country. Like, what the fuck?
If you've got armed invaders crossing into your country whenever they
That's
feel
AOC.
like it,
And keep in mind, chat, what I just mentioned, that's all AOC's district. The future top candidate for the Democrats. And you guys are confused why you're not winning shit.
Weapons occasionally, that requires an armed response that eclipses
Hey, you
this
see this guy, dude? Can you imagine getting a fucking, hey, say 130 overhead?
criminal activity enough to shut it down and scare it away. And you just heard now.
They're using predator drones! Soap, get on the predator drone! The predator drone! Soap, get on the predator drone!
The U.S. is going to have its own drones covering the border.
Oh my
These
God, he's
troops are
literally
going
on
to
the
be there to
fucking
crack
predator
down
drone.
on
That's
anybody who touches military property. And since something like this has never happened before, it's going to totally screw up these criminals in ways they haven't even expected.
Screw up these. That's a very interesting choice of words. You mean it's finally gonna halt the criminals? It's gonna stop them right in their tracks?
And that perfectly explains why those who are against this idea are now trying to stop it at all costs.
Jump to this. President Trump is authorizing the U.S. military to take control of what you see right next to me, a 700-mile stretch of federal land along the southern
Man,
border,
Danny changed his
and
name to
turn
Joey
it
Karate on
into an
Instagram.
army base. Now, critics say this is an effort to get around the prohibition on using the military for domestic law enforcement.
Okay, so it's very important that we just stop this one right here because that's not what the military is doing. If you trespass any military base, anywhere in the country, the consequences are the same as what they're going to be down here. The military at its other bases in other parts of America is not engaged in law enforcement. No, they will stop you and arrest you if you trespass on their base, which is exactly what's going to happen here, but they are not out in their communities, ripping people off the streets, tearing families apart.
Like, dude, I don't feel bad, bro. Like, for none of these people. Like, look at all these fuckers. They all have ghillie suits and shit, ghillie backpacks, and you definitely know they have smartphones. So it's like, dude, if you have the time and the patience and, you know, the forefront, you know, the capability to plan ahead, you know, because you have these ghillie suits. So we know that you have the ability to plan ahead because you're wearing you have the ghillie suits. So that means that you are prepared. You're trying to prepare yourself so you won't get caught and you'll be able to hide. If you could do all this, you're telling me that these motherfuckers don't have the capability to just Google what the fuck I just said earlier? To just Google how the immigration crisis is, if it's even worth it to come here? Are you even, you know, able to get a job? But no, they're just lazy. They're just fucking lazy and stupid. And I don't feel bad for any of them. That's why I just chuckle whenever they get whenever the immigrants that are here, when they get interviewed, and they're like, oh, did you, is this like the, you know, the American dream that you thought it was gonna be? And they're just like, oh no, I thought it was gonna be something completely different. I thought, you know, I was just gonna get money. You know, I was better in Mexico. I was better in Honduras. I was better in my country. Like, should I just stay there? Yeah, buddy, you should have just stayed there. Nobody told you to come here. You literally went through like 3 or 4 different countries to come over here. You could have stopped at any of them, but you chose to go out of your way to come here because you thought you were just gonna get fast, easy money. Like, well, I don't know where this precedent comes from, where the American dream is just, you know, illegally coming to America and, you know, and just thinking that you're gonna make a shit ton of money instantly. Like, these people actually have the mentality that they're just gonna instantly work at you know, where like Glibidus works, you know, like at a fucking hospital. They just instantly think that they're gonna get a good job, you know, work at a hospital or, you know, work at a bank or some No, motherfucker. Most of us can't even get jobs like that. What the fuck, man? I can't even get a job like that. What the fuck makes you think that you're gonna get a job like that, bro? Like, if anything, I should be the one that gets that job, not you, buddy. I'm a citizen here. Like, all these people saying, oh, but immigrants take the jobs that fucking you don't want to. No, dude, they take the jobs the only jobs that they can do. As a matter of fact, they are starting to take jobs away from us because I've been seeing mad immigrants working at hospitals and shit. So it's like, I don't know, bro. You're coming over here taking our jobs and shit, so it's, I don't know, man.
You know what I'm talking about. But ironically, if you want to see what a full-blown military occupation looks like, just visit America's largest sanctuary city, where we've had the National Guard patrolling our subways, and they're outfitted with tactical gear, weapons. It's a show of force, and nobody in New York.
Okay, like if the Commonwealth is basically broke as shit, look at how we are right now. What the hell makes you think that you, an illegal, like, you know, an illegal immigrant, is gonna, you know, do better than us? Really, bro. You really expect yourself to do any better than us when you can't even Google if it's fucking worth it or not to fucking come over here? Like, you don't even have the capabilities. Not the capabilities. You don't even have the, you know, the brain power to do that. It's just all, you know, all hog, no wog. You don't even think. You just do. You just, you know, monkey see, monkey do. You know, you saw the other immigrants do it, so you think you're gonna do it? Like, well, come on, bro.
Seems to have
And I guarantee you, because all these mass immigration fucking things, that's why the immigrants are saying that their country was much better than this. So they don't know why. Yeah, it's because all you guys are fucking leaving and bringing your problems here. So the people that are remaining in your country, it's like a paradise to them because there's barely any crime. There's much more space. The economy is starting to look better, you know, because there's not a lot of people there, you know, just freeloading and shit.
I'm with it. Nobody's complaining about it. There are not protests. Oh no! But now look at this. We want to do the same thing at the border, and the same people happy about it happening.
And I'm telling you this because I have first-hand accounts, chat. Like ever since all these fucking mass immigration shits have been going on, my cousins in Honduras are always on the phone with my mom, telling them like they all have jobs now. All of them have jobs. When before this shit, before the immigration crisis, like the mass immigration crisis recently, before this shit happened, like the last time that I was there, it was like terrible, dude. There was like mad crime. Everybody was like freeloading. There was like mad people wandering around with no fucking jobs and shit. You know? Like these people think that they, you know, their shit just like, oh man, they just think that their nations just, you know, immediately like improve. Out of nowhere. No, dude, it's not out of nowhere. It's because all of the bad people in your country are leaving and they're coming over here. That's why. You guys didn't actually do. It's literally like that South Park episode, Night of the Living Homeless. Change, more change, and you know, instead of actually fixing the problem with the homeless, they literally just bring them all to California. California,
They're mine.
We were at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas, when the Army delivered more than 50 armored
California,
Stryker fighting vehicles.
They're nice for the whole homeless.
Designed for the battlefield, they are a centerpiece of President Trump's plan to seal the southern border on a mountain where foot trails have been worn.
The city
into
Santa
hillside.
Monica.
On this
They're
one,
nice to the
we didn't see a
homeless.
single person trying to cross.
Just the sight of the strikers has turned out to be intimidating for some people.
Yeah,
Soldiers told
good,
me
as
that
it
they
should
have
be,
watched
because
the-
you're a fucking idiot, dude. If you are trying to cross if you're trying to illegally cross to a country, and you see like a fucking AC-130 or a goddamn like anti-tank, you know, like a tank, what is it, an anti-aircraft tank, sitting across the other side of the border that you're trying to get to. So basically, you have to pass this tank in order to get into the country. And you still think it's a good idea to cross, you're a fucking idiot, and we don't want you in here. Like, if that's your train of thinking, that means that you're not a smart person, and you don't be making good decisions, and you shouldn't be over here. You don't deserve to be over here. Like, what the fuck? I'm gonna see a fucking, like a... Can you imagine, Glibra, seeing an A1 Abrams across the border, and you still try to, like, you know, you still try to cross, and then you're confused when you get blasted by, like, a fucking 50 cal? Like, come on, man. Come on.
People
have some respect for
approach the border
yourself.
wall, see the strikers perched up there above it, and then turn around and go back in the
Yeah, you should. Because it's like, dude, if you don't care about your life, why the fuck should we care about your life, bro?
other direction.
What's wrong with that? That's great.
Yeah, it's called a
Nobody
fucking
tried to cross the
deterrence.
border. Nobody got hurt. People.
That's the whole idea of a deterrence. The deterrence is supposed to deter. It wouldn't be a deterrence if it didn't deter. That's like fucking giving somebody a Nerf gun. No, it's like giving somebody like a collector's edition of like a Springfield and telling them to go to like actual war with it. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this, Charlie? It won't even shoot. Like, what?
Decided on their own to go back the other way without anything even needing to happen. What an amazing deterrent this is. It's working and it doesn't cost a thing. As no human being needs.
Oh yeah, dude, Glib, I'm fucking free this weekend, dude. If you want to go to the gym and shite. Started my new Baki Hanma regiment.
needlessly
wanna get
risk
ripped.
their life only to be exploited again once they get inside America and these criminals that brought them in track them down. Plus, this reveals another element of the whole border security argument. It's not enough to just have a wall, which criminals might make holes in or cut or climb over. A wall by itself does nothing unless there is an authority figure on the other side of it, and that's exactly what this base is going to accomplish. But as this is working, the crackdown happening in Mexico is going further than a lot of people expected.
So Mexico and U.S.
Yeah, I was about to say, if that Mexican president lady sees this shit, like this exact video, and you literally don't do anything about it, like the whole world is just gonna see you as like a fucking, like essentially a terrorist supporter, because you know, the world sees cartels as a terrorist organization now. So if you don't do anything about this, you're literally a terrorist supporter. Like she had to do something about this, which is good, because it's like, bro, why are you just allowing these cartels to just literally own your borders? Why do you not have, you know, border patrol agents around here? Like, why do you have fucking gang cartel smugglers and people who are trying to be smuggled out here giving the middle fingers to border agents and shit, you know, and we can't arrest them because they're on the Mexican side. It's literally like that game that we used to play in high school, Glibidus, fucking Mexican border, you know, where you have to like get to the other side of the line and without being tagged. That's literally what this is, dude. Like, what the fuck?
They're on the border launching a new operation called Operation Frontera Norte. It's Operation Northern Border. So back in February, Mexico did reach an agreement.
No, it's not, dude. How are you like fucking Hispanic and you just mistranslated that? That's not Northern Border. That's Northern Frontier, dummy.
President Trump
Frontera is a
deploy
frontier.
At least 10,000 Mexican National Guards to its northern borders to crack down illegal immigration. Now, since then,
I mean,
Mexican
actually, he could
forces
be
have
right.
arrested over
Sometimes
20
Spanish words be having like multiple meanings.
700
probably
people,
right.
seized over 2,300 guns.
So here we're finally seeing what can happen when the US and Mexico cooperate to get rid of these criminal organizations once and for all. You've got Mexico working with the United States, using our intelligence to send troops into the right places of their country and disable and dismantle these smuggling centers, arrest people, and root out these criminals, which is going to make Mexico a lot safer. This will be good for the law-abiding citizens of both Mexico and America, stopping the infrastructure that's been fueling illegal immigration and illegal border crossings while enriching the wrong people. And by wrong people, we don't just mean the criminals in Mexico, we also mean the politicians in America that benefit from this.
Will likely be challenged in court. Democratic Senator Mark Kelly said in a statement to 12 News that Trump's plan is a bad idea.
Oh, yeah?
Troops can support in emergencies, but this plan goes far beyond that. It risks putting service members in roles they aren't trained for, undermining their readiness for their missions. That's a bad idea and not what we need at the border. Trump's expansion...
I bet you this is one of those guys that thinks that we should open the border. Like, what do you think we should do at the border then, Bobby? Hmm? What the fuck do you think we should do, huh?
Troops border role.
That's always the problem with these fuckers. They always like to say, "Oh, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do this," but they never you know, provide a solution. It's always, you know, critique what other people are doing, but never provide a solution yourself. Like, bro, it's like, well, why don't you shut the fuck up and actually provide us with a solution, and maybe we'll take you up on the offer. If you could provide a better solution than this, then why don't you say something, you know? Why don't you fucking open your mouth and say something?
Comes as crossings
just
have
sitting here
plunged
bitching
in
about,
recent
you know,
months.
somebody that's actually doing something about it.
7,200 migrant encounters were reported in March, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That's down from more than 189,000 during the same month.
Okay, so there's a couple of things we have to tackle right here. First of all, this senator, is anyone surprised what political party he's affiliated with? I mean, come on. And what's crazy is that this guy, he's attacking the idea of this bait.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. He's one of those people that live in like a nice community, so he doesn't have to deal with any of this. I guarantee you, if he lived like 10 minutes away from Flushing, dude, he'd be all over this shit right now.
facts, saying that it's got troops doing something they weren't trained for, but they're
Shut
not
up.
behaving any differently on this base than they are on any other U.S. base. They're not.
Dude, if I was a soldier, I would rather do this than actually have to, like, you know, be sent out and, like, go to war or some shit, or be deployed out to another country, because you never know what is this idiot even saying, dude? I'd rather have to deal with this, where I'm not really putting my life at risk that much, versus, like, you know, being sent to, like, fucking Afghanistan or fucking Pakistan or you know, some shit where I have the actual capability, like, the probabilities of fucking running over an IED and having my leg blown off or some shit, or getting shot by a fucking terrorist. Like, what? I mean, although you are fighting terrorists here, but that being said, they aren't as ruthless as fucking the other terrorists.
Out into their community, policing it. That's
like
not
me being me personally, with, you know, comparing and weighing both things, I would rather deal with the cartel than dealing with, like, fucking Hamas.
Asking them to do. So I don't really see how that argument adds up. But then we hear another argument, which is that crossings are now so low that, hey,
because, like, yeah, at the end of the day, both of them do take hostages, but you gotta give at least one of them credit, dude. Like gangs necessarily don't try to target the civilians, you know, unless they have to. Like, unless it's, like, to send a message, or, like, you know, because they're trying to kidnap somebody, or, like I said, to send a message. Like, for instance, like, let's say Libidus owes somebody money, you know, and then they're gonna fucking kidnap his family and shit, and, you know, be like, yo, where's our fucking money? If not, we're gonna kill them or some shit. We're gonna break their kneecaps or some shit. But other than that, you know, you don't see fucking, like, MS-13 just going out in the streets and just targeting people, or using, you know, hospitals as bases or some shit. So, yeah, I'd rather deal with them than fucking, you know, human shield Hamas.
maybe we don't even need a base. Maybe Trump's done such a great job already, he can just leave things the way they are. After all, we don't want to have zero illegal immigration, do we? But this ignores the fact that people who are illegally coming into this country, they're at risk from the day they start their journey south of the border until months after they get into this country. This entire time, they are subjects of the criminal underworld. They are continually exploited. They are bankrupted, and this is essentially modern day slavery. These people owe tens of thousands of dollars that they don't have. They're supposed to pay it back. How come nobody's upset that that's going on while enriching criminals?
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth recently visited the buffer zone, saying it's the latest tool employed by the Trump administration to stop what he calls an invasion of undocumented immigrants.
Clear English, clear Spanish. This is Department of Defense property. The National Defense Area, formerly known as the Fort Huachuca Annex Zone, is federal property. Any illegal attempting to enter that zone is entering a military base, a federal protected area. You can be detained, you will be detained. You will be interdicted by U.S. troops and Border Patrol working together.
Groups like the ACLU are opposed to the newly created military zone,
Of course they are.
saying troops should not be used to arrest people for regular offenses, warning it raises the potential a U.S. citizen.
Regular offenses. Did you hear that? We're supposed to believe as Americans that illegal immigration is just a regular offense, like jaywalking, or maybe not separating your garbage correctly, the recyclables from the rest of the trash. Just a regular offense, no big deal. That's how these...
Yeah, like that whole word salad that these motherfuckers be doing to try to confuse, like, the general public. Oh, these undocumented immigrants. No, dude, they're illegal aliens. Stop trying to make it seem like, you know, they're just victims here. Like, what the fuck? Nobody told them to come over here. Nobody told them to fucking illegally cross, like, multiple countries. That was all of their own doing. Like we have gangs over here too. We have everything that you guys are struggling with over there too. We just know how to deal with it better, and you don't see us fucking, you know, just mass migrating to Japan or some shit. Like, you don't see a group of Americans just mass migrating to Japan because it's, you know, more peaceful and nice, and there's no gangs over there. Like, what the fuck, dude?
People look at modern day slavery, and honestly, that's the worst part about this story. You've got millions of people in the clutches of criminals being exploited, and until something's done about it, until law and order take place at the southern border, this is going to keep happening. In Mexico, it's going to keep happening.
Like, I never understood the train of thought of these people that even come here or want to come here, dude. What makes you think that you're gonna do anything that you're not doing? What makes you think that you're gonna do anything over here that you can't do over there? Like, if you couldn't even fucking, you know, like, let's say you wanted to be like a hair salon, you know, like have your own hair salon, or work at a hair salon. If you couldn't do that in your own country, what the fuck makes you think that you're gonna do that over here, dude?
America, especially in sanctuary cities, and the world will not be better off because of what these activists say is just a regular offense. What do you think about that? Should this base be built? Should it
100% it should be built. 100% it should be built. Anyways, that's enough jibber jabber for this shit. This video's long enough. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.